best in New York Giants sports talk entertainment. The Joe Schoen press conference is over. It was interesting. You got some questions in there that you expected to get. You got some answers that you probably expected to get, and you got some answers you were probably not hoping to get. I mean, you got to take a look at this from what it is. It's an opening press conference. He didn't shy away from the questions. I do think he's got to stop repeating the phrase, well, that's a good question. That's a great question. That's a good question. He's got to learn that. He's going to become a little bit more media savvy in reference to being the Giants' general manager, but that's just nitpicking. First thing off the top, one of the things that I did like is the fact that his players need to be smart, tough, and dependable. I thought that was a great statement. I thought that was a great comment about the state of the affairs of the players that he wants to bring in as a Giants general manager. He wants to have those players be tough, smart, and dependable. I like that. I think that was a great answer. I thought it was a fantastic answer. All through the press conference, I was waving my Joe Judge BS-o-meter, just double checking all the statements that he had on his press conference to make sure I didn't get that warm and fuzzy feeling I got about Joe Judge. He talked about Daniel Jones. We'll build an offense to We will build an offense to accentuate. I can't talk today. We'll build an offense to accentuate what Daniel Jones does best. That kind of that shows that I'm not saying that he's supporting Daniel Jones yet. Again, that could just be general manager speak. I don't know. Let's check the detector. The detector says that's probably just general manager speak because of the fact that he doesn't even have a coaching staff in place. So at this point in time, we really can't figure out what he's going to do and how he's going to do it yet. We just gotta kind of wait and see. He seems like, like he's a smart guy. He seems like a very humble guy. He really wanted this job. He told a great story about how he met Mark Bavaro when he was 4. And he had been a Giant fan, or is a Giant. I don't know if he ever really said he was a Giant fan, but he said he had been a Giant fan since he met Mark Bavaro. I think that's fantastic. He came out and says, I don't take this job lightly. I fully understand the responsibilities. We will build a team that will make you proud on and off the field. We will sustain. I can't read it all today. We will sustain success. Well, the meter says he was pretty good on that one as well because he did the same thing in Buffalo. He did the same thing with the Bills. So, he talked also a lot about analytics and things such as that. I'm not a big analytic guy. I forget what they called it, what he called it, said the Giants called, but I'm not a big analytic guy. I don't like the fact that he interviewed with Chris, John, and the Tish. What the hell does he need to order with Chris Mara for? Seriously, why do you have to interview it all with Chris Mara? Why? And like I said, I have no problem with him. When he talked about analytics and sports performance, he says he's going to look at any tool that they could use that are going to push the envelope. It's a new day for Giant fans. I like that too. It's a new day. It's a new day for Giant fans. I like that. I like that comment as well. So the BS-o-meter, the Joe Judge press conference BS-o-meter, didn't ring on that one for me at all. He seemed non-committal, of course, about a head coach, which is kind of what you want him to see. I did not like the fact that he said that he does not basically have full autonomy to hire a head coach. That is going to be his exact words were, it is going to be a collaborative effort. That's kind of, and the ownership and himself are going to have a shared vision of what the new head coach brings. I'm sorry, Joe, these numbnuts have been in charge for quite a while now, and they haven't shown anything in regards to the fact to be able to pick a head coach. They would be able to pick the correct general manager. I'm hoping they got it right with you, but I get a little leery when he tells it's not going to be his decision solely. Another great line was, and this was a great line, and I checked it out with the BS-o-meter, but I thought it was a great line, and I don't think it was BS. Whatever we do, someone is always going to be disappointed. He gets it. He gets what the Giants are all about. That to me tells me he gets the fan base. He gets the fan base that he understands that no matter what he does, it's something that it's just a new day for Giant. And I'm sorry, he didn't say it was a new day for Giant. It's a new day for Giant fans. He didn't say that. I was just pontificating that. Sorry, I don't want people to think that was part of his quote. I was just reading, and I was just kind of pontificating myself. So please don't take that as part of the quote. And then he mentioned the fact that in reference to internal staff. And he basically said when push comes to shove, he can make the changes that he feels necessary, but everyone's going to be evaluated in the building. That he had mentioned multiple times that he had been in the chairs on the other, I guess he was pointing to the other, the people on the other side of the room that were employees, that he's been in their situation and he understands, but, and everyone seems wonderful. Everyone seems nice, but they need to evaluate, they're going to evaluate everyone, which is what you need to do. As long as we get rid of Kevin Abrams. Can we just get rid of Kevin Abrams, please? Oh, please. I'm not kidding. Like I said, I don't sit there and say I'm worried that he's going to bring back Daniel Jones, because I've said this before. I'm not a Daniel Jones hater. If Daniel Jones can play, he can play. That's all it is to it. That's all it is to it. If he can play, he can play. If we can get, if whatever coach comes in, and like I said, from the fact that Leslie Frazier's interviewing on Friday, you got Flores, I think, coming in Thursday. I don't think there's going to be a type of decision until next week. But like I said, if whoever can get the best out of Dan Jones' staff and he turns into quarterback, it's fine. When asked about the salary cap, he said it was a real concern, but of course it also reminded him of the salary cap over when he was with the Bills when he came in back then as well. And he's not wrong. It is a concern, and he's not shying away from those questions. He's not saying that it's that he's shying away. His full statement was, it's a concern and it's real. Difficult decisions will need to be made. I don't know. Again, like I said, when we talk about with anything you talk about in reference to Kevin Abrams, I'm just I don't know. I mean, like I said, if he can truly make the decisions to fire people in the internal staff, let me check the meter. The meter is telling me that could be a little bit of a BS. The meter is telling me that could be a little bit of BS. That if he is not going to have sole autonomy to hire his head coach, and I know he came out and said, yes, I have the full authority to get rid of guys and to move on from guys. I don't know. I mean, but the good news is it's funny. He looked, my wife brought it up. He looks a lot younger when he's up in front of the podium than he did in his photos. I don't think that matters. I mean, I still think this was a good hire. I have nothing wrong with this hire. I had no problem with any of the other hires they could have potentially have had. Everyone knows that Ryan Poles was my guy because I want the Bieniemy. But he's coming in here. He's saying the right things. He's doing the right things. He didn't come off like a pompous. Like I said, when I saw the Joe Judge press conference, I thought Joe Judge was a pompous ass. I said that a million times. I thought he was an ass. I didn't like him. Didn't like him from the moment he spoke at the podium. Other people was like, he rocked the press conference. No, I hated him. I hated him that moment. My Joe Judge BS meter went off big time when I saw the Joe Judge press conference. But you know what? This guy, if he's got something, if he could do something, and if he could do it right, let's give him the chance. Let's give him the opportunity. Like I said, I saw nothing bad. I only saw good and interesting comments. There was nothing bad about what he said or what he did. Like I said, it's a new dawn for the Giants. It's a new day. Let's see where we head now with the head coach. And again, this is Tim with the Online Big Blue, bringing the best in New York Giants sports talk entertainment. And as always, if you could subscribe, we definitely know what it means. That'd be awesome.